Greetings, folks. Today is Sunday, February the 17th, 2019. My name is Tom Lineweaver. How can I stumble over my own name? My name is Tom Lineweaver, and this is Truth Matters. Okay, let me tell you what I want to talk about. I want to talk about human feelings. The fact is, we human beings need human beings. Now, how did this come about? Well, I've been going through a rough time lately, and I shared it with some folks, and sure enough, somebody comes along and says, well, you have God. But is that enough? You see, God doesn't give you a hug. God doesn't put his arms around your shoulder in a comforting way. God doesn't do those things because God is a spirit. He doesn't have arms. He doesn't have legs. He doesn't have a body. What God has done in the case of Adam is he provided someone to do those things. So, God is rather limited in that fashion. So I did a presentation in my site Country Frame of Mind Promotions, which I will provide a link to. I guess I should be putting this on my country channel, but I also have a few comments to make about it. You see, the thing is, we are at our healthiest when we are taking care of pleasures of the flesh. That's right. There's something about us that needs physical contact. Now I know this because I was happiest in my life when I had those pleasures of the flesh. Yes, I had a girlfriend, and yes, we did things that we shouldn't have done, probably, but I remember being happy, emotionally healthy. And my dad died during that period of time, and I was able to handle that because of that relationship. Well, then, of course, she left me, and she broke up with me, and for another guy, by the way. Anyway, I mean, my life is the stuff of country music. It really is. I am living a country song. Well, a bunch of them, actually. So, but what are you supposed to do when you're going through a rough time and you just need someone there and they're not there? I go to people and say, look, ask God to send me someone. Oh, but you already have God. Well, let me tell you something else. Adam had God. But that wasn't good enough because God said it's not good for Adam to be alone. By the way, that's exactly what he said, because when you go into the Hebrew, you'll find that the word man came from the Hebrew word Admal, which is the name Adam. Okay? So, Adam had God all to himself. I mean, can you imagine if God believed what some Christians believe, that you have God and that's enough. You don't need anybody else. If that's the case, if God believed that way, he never would have made Eve. And none of us would be here, which might be a blessing. Anyway, so yes, we need people. As Johnny Cash said in his song, flesh and blood needs flesh and blood. And if you ever listen to Tammy Wynette, and if you go to the link I'm going to provide, you will hear Tammy Wynette sing Womanhood. And in there she says, I am a Christian, but I'm a woman too. And this is about struggling between being a Christian and being a woman, and going into your womanhood for the first time. What should I do? I'm becoming a woman. Should I give in to this guy or what? And she reaches out to God and said, show me what to do. Of course, that obviously didn't matter, but anyway. I mean, we struggle with these things. God has established how it should be between men and women. Because he created Adam, then he came along and created Eve, and he basically told them to be fruitful and multiply. I don't know if he actually put them in a classroom and showed them what to do. I think that came naturally eventually. I mean, obviously they had oodles of children. So we know that they have learned how to do that. But can you imagine God saying, oh, Adam, you don't need to be with anybody. You got me. You don't need anybody else. But God didn't do that. And so why are Christians going to people who are hurting and saying, well, you've got God? Okay? I don't think they understand the scriptural concept of what God has done. Anyway, you go to the link. Not only is there music, but there's also text. And I explain this even further. So, alright. And I think it's very truthful to say that if we do not have other human beings that we can count on to be there for us when we're hurting, we live a very unhealthy life. In fact, the Bible calls it torture. Alright. Well, that's Truth Matters for today. Thank you for listening, and go to the link.